Hi, my name is Sasha. Welcome back to my channel, Sasha Reads, and this is my January wrap-up. January was a good month. I read 20 books, which is very exciting. I read 7,853 pages. 2 of those books were BIPOC authors. I owned 13 of them, and 3 of them had queer representation. Only 5 of the books were physical books. 14 out of the 20 was from my TBR. So I think I crushed it. The best book of the month, I think, no surprises, does go to House of Flame and Shadow, which is the 3rd book in the Crescent City trilogy. Miss Mast does it again. That's all I can really say. And then the worst book of the month, unfortunately, goes to the Full Moon Book Club pick, which was In the Invisible Hour by Alice Hoffman. I really wanted to read this because Lisa was the co-host for this month, who is a fellow vamp, and I just really wanted to support both of those creators. But unfortunately, this one did fall flat. I wanted more culty vibes and not Nathaniel Hawthorne fanfiction. Okay, let's get into it. So I actually started off the year pretty well. I read 1 book a day for the first 8 days. Well, I completed 1 book a day for the first 8 days. So I felt pretty proud of myself. The first 2, though, were continuations from the year before, which I'm still counting. The first one was Tempting Orzed by Victoria Aveline. I gave this, it says 5 stars there, but I'm actually going to bring it down to 4 stars because I did then read the next book in that series, and that one was so much better, and that was 5 stars. Tempting Orzed was our buddy read for the month of December with Merb's Discord. It's a alien romance. What was Orzed about? I think that one was about, Orzed was sent to find Alex, I think, and then it's kind of like a fake dating sort of aspect because they get roped into this another colony, and for them to come back they have to pretend they're married or dating or whatever. I really liked I think Alex's perspective. I think she was the first human that actually was like, oh, let's just go with it sort of thing, where all the other girls so far was like, oh no, it's an alien, I can't fall in love with them, like no, like get over it, just fuck the alien. I then read Tripping Arcadia by Kit Makist. This was a Full Moon Book Club pick back in April of last year, and I had read 70% of it back in April last year, and then I just never picked it up again. I bought the ebook full price too for it, so I'm like, I'm gonna finish this dang book. So I finally did it. I gave that one 3 stars. Probably would have been more if I had read it in one go and not spaced out the last 30%, like 6 months later. It's about this girl who gets caught up with this like famous family, and she's kind of like the nurse for the sick son, and she starts a relationship with the daughter, but she wants to kill the father, so she makes this poison. It was all very gothic vibes. Yeah, like I said, I think I would have enjoyed it more if I had read it all in the one go. I then read The Scepter by J. Bree. This is one of the prequel novellas for the Mortal Fates trilogy. We're reading this for Meredith's Discord as well. This was short. I think it was like 70 or 90 pages. 87 pages it was. And it was about this girl who's this witch. Her and her brother go off on this adventure, and then they find out that their whole family has died while they're gone. And so they are going to this psychic, I think she has another name, to try and find out like what they should do next sort of thing. Their law in this world is like, if you can mind speak with someone, they are your fate's blessed mate. So she's been talking to her mate, but like they haven't told each other who they are. And along this journey, the witches are kind of prohibited because the evil faking doesn't like witches. So yeah, they go on this journey, and I'm very excited to read The Sword this month. I think we're going to get Fae Prince's perspective in this one. I really hope we do. I think I gave that 3 stars. Yes, I did give the Scepter 3 stars. I then read the Zodiac Academy prequel novella called Origins of an Academy Bully. Gave that one 3 stars as well. This is set 5 years before The Awakening, and it's in Orion's and Darius's perspective, and it kind of gives them a backstory of why they do what they do in the first book. I then read an arc, and that was Yours for Now by Leonor Solis. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. So this is Latina rep and fat rep, and so good. This is like a fake dating romance between these 2 people. I'm sorry, I cannot remember their names, but this was such a cute book. And so it's about these 2 Latinx people who both come from very different Latinx families. The female main character's family is very set in their old ways, where females are pretty much, they just grow up females. Where women just need to grow up, find a husband and get married and have lots of babies sort of thing. They don't run a business. But this main character, she wants to take over her father's and uncle's business. She does like this business proposal with our male main character, who is in the same sort of business, but they're a bigger company, and she wants like his backing so that when her father retires, she can step in and like start this whole relationship between the 2 businesses. But the father and the uncle, when it's up to the proposal time, they think that the male main character is actually her boyfriend, and that's why he's doing this sort of thing. And she's like, sure, yeah, he's my boyfriend, because she's like, afterwards she's like, if they don't think you're my boyfriend, they're just going to cut this off. So let's just pretend until they accept, and go from there. They run in the same business circles, but they don't really see a lot of each other, and he thinks she's beautiful. She can see he's attractive sort of thing, but like once they start fake dating and there's only one bed, and I loved it a lot. I loved the conversations about family, like, because his family is very modern. Just the contrast between the 2 families, and then also like I liked the talk about like her body and her being plus size as well, and how that like was not an issue for him. And there was this like little side plot where she would go to his soccer games, and I loved those scenes so much. So yes, thank you so much to the author for an arc of this book. I'm very excited to read more about these people. I believe the next book is about the man's best friends, and I think it's a marriage convenience. So I'm very excited for when that comes out. Next, I read Me Moth by Amber McBride. I listened to this on audio because I just can't comprehend poetry books, and when they're like spoken in a story, like I just can't do it. So I listened to the audiobook and I really enjoyed it. I gave that 4 stars. The plot twist at the end I did not see coming at all, but it was a nice fun short audiobook. I then read A Quarter Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas. This was a reread. I think it's like my first or second reread, and I didn't realize how much fucking was in this. Like, it's not smutty, but it's, yeah. And I let my mum read this before me, so now I'm just like, oh my gosh. Because I did finish Aka War, was my last book of 2023, so rereading all that because of HOFAS that was coming out. I gave this one 4.5 stars. I think it's just a filler story. There's really no plot. Like, it does set up Nesta's story for Silver Flames. There's some things that happen in this book. I'm like, why? Why? One in particular is, it's kind of spoilery, so like pause it if you want. But when Reese and Feyre doing the deed and they're like doing their talking or whatever, and then she's like, let's make a baby, and he's like, okay. And so then as he is about to come, she sends a picture of the little boy that is their son through the mind speak thing, and he comes from that. And I was like, that was a choice. that really was a choice. I don't know why you thought that was the right choice. Anyway, that's like the only thing I'm like, that was weird. That was so weird. I then read the worst book of the month, and that was The Invisible Hour by Alice Hoffman. Like I said earlier, I wanted more cult vibes. So this was about this girl, Ivy, who's 16-year-old, pregnant and alone. She runs away because her family is not supportive, and she goes to this community where the leader of the community takes her in and pretty much marries her and raises the daughter Mia as his own. And then it kind of jumps forward to Mia's point of view. She is now 16. Like, this community, like, you're not allowed to read. Women are there to serve, pretty much. But, like, sometimes they go out and do markets to get money for the community. And Ivy lets Mia go to the library. She sees this book with this quote. I don't know what the quote was, but she starts stealing books from the library and hiding it in barns and stuff. I liked the first half. It was the second half that I was like, this is a bit far-fetched. Like I said earlier, there's a Nathaniel Hawthorne fanfic aspect to it. I don't know. If you wanted to write a fan fiction where you inputted yourself fucking Nathaniel Hawthorne, do that, but wrap it up in something else, not this. This was a low 3, a very low 3. I then read Using Feiho by Victoria Aveline, which was January's monthly pick for the series, and I gave that 5 stars. I knew Feiho was going to be my favorite character out of the series. As soon as we met him in book 1, I was like, I need his book, and we finally got it. So this is a marriage of convenience for her. He thinks like it's legit, but she is trying to get off the alien world and go back to home, and she believes that Feiho can help her because he is a pirate. And I just didn't like the way she used him, and I know it's in the bloody title of the book, Using Feiho, but Feiho is just such a sweetie pie, and I love him so much. He's so cocky, but like it's an act. And once like they got over it and like they mated, it was a good time. It was a very good time, and I'm very excited to read the next book because I think we're going to get more alien, hopefully, she said. That was obviously 5 stars. I then read another arc, so look at me kicking goals, and that was The Ugly Stepsister by Megan Van Dyke. This is a Cinderella reimagining with a bit of Snow White in there too. You've got Anna, who is a runaway because she believes that the evil queen Cinderella is trying to kill her. Because yes, Cinderella is evil, only Anna thinks that. So she is dressing as a boy and naming herself Ansel to try and save her sister and her mum because Cinderella has captured them and sent them off to the evil fairy godmother. But then you've got the hunter who kind of has a crush on Ansel. Like he's not like, it's not like, oh my god, I like him, but he's a dude. Like it's not like that. He's just like, okay, that's different, but okay, he was here for it. And just lots of like funny hijinks as well. The plot twist I saw coming, but like adjacent. Like I didn't think that was the thing. I thought it was like a brother or something. That was obviously 5 stars. I think I'll read anything this author writes. I definitely want to pick up the Alice Curse very soon because that's obviously a Alice in Wonderland reimagining, and it's a romance between her and the White Rabbit. I don't know how she's going to make that work, but I'm very excited. I think then I needed just some short, smutty palette cleansers. So I read Chase Me and Restrain Me by Natalia LaRose. Chase Me obviously has primal play in it. They were both like, first one was 50 pages, second one was 48 pages. So Chase Me had primal play, which if you aren't aware, that is where pretty much there's a chase scene. And then like, if he catches you, he fucks you. So there's that. And then the second book, Restrain Me, that had more story to it, even though it was like less pages. She is plus size and there was lots of talk about that. I don't know, I gave them both 4 stars. They were just nice palette smut cleansers. Smarty palette cleansers. Oh, I then listened to Lord of Stariel by A.J. Lancaster because that author is coming to Babe next year in Sydney. So me and a couple other people over at the Bar Book Club are trying to read one book from each author until then. So this one I gave 3 stars. It is the start of a series though, so I feel like if I continue the series, the ratings will get higher. But it's about this girl who is kind of like the black sheep of the family. She's come back to the land of Stariel because her father has died. And there's like this big ceremony where the power of the Lord, it doesn't just go to the first son. It's like the heir isn't just the first son. So all of the potential heirs come back, do this like ritual / ceremony. Turns out this runaway she's not really a runaway. She just left because she's like, well, I'm not going to be the heir, so I might as well go do my own thing. And no one really liked that. And there's a secret fae prince running around, and you've got romance and hijinks and adventure, and it was really a fun read. I'm definitely excited to pick up the next one and see where that goes. I then read A Quarter Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This is my second read, so this is my first reread of this one, and I loved coming back to Nesta and Cassian. Nesta makes me cry so much. Like, this is a book of healing. Just like Akamath, just like Air of Fire, this is a book of healing. I love Nesta. I do. I love Feyre and I love Nesta. Elaine, once she gets her own story, I'll probably love her too. But right now, Nesta being the older sister and hating herself is just very, very me. Ugh, this book just made me cry so many times. I think if I wasn't including rereads, like as my favorite book of the month, this would have been it. But alas, it was a reread, so it wasn't. I read another arc. I forgot. That's 3 arcs this month. This one actually came out in January too. And that was called Reclaiming Kate by Mary Warren. This is Warren's 5th or 6th novel. And it's her 4th in the Mystic Falls series. But this one isn't really just set in Mystic Falls. It's the start of her ice hockey era. I'm very excited for it. So this one was about Kate, obviously, and one of Kate's brother's teammates. Trigger warning for relationship abuse. It's a flashback. So she's out of that relationship now, but she's still like hung up on it. And yeah, it was very cute because there's a bit of an age gap. He, like the male main character of the story, is like obsessed with her. So this one was 5 stars as well. Yeah, there's you. I just literally read anything Mary Warren writes. And I think this is a book about healing as well, because she has some ups about ice hockey in general because of something that happened in her past, and so her like dating an ice hockey player is like, what the heck. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think the next book, the female main character is going to be named Sasha, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to read a book that has my name in it. I then read How to Get a Girlfriend When You're a Terrifying Monster by Mary Cardno. This was a 3-star read. If I didn't read The Invisible Hour, this would have been my worst book of the month. But because it had sapphic rep, it obviously wasn't. So this was a short story. It was 105 pages. And this author is also going to Babe next year as well. It felt kind of rushed and it felt a little boring. Like, it felt both slow and rushed at the same time. I don't know if that's a thing. But it's about, yeah, this monster who lives in like this another dimension, and this human comes in and she's like insta love for the human, and the human has a crush in it too. I don't know, they end up going back to the like Earth, and yeah, I want to see if this author has written anything else, because I don't think this is their best work. But if it's a debut, then I'm excited to see where they go. I then read another contender for best book of the year, and that was Butcher&Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. This book. So this was the Bloody Reads pick for Jan's Patreon. I don't know, it was about these 2 serial killers who fall in love, and I just loved it so much. Made me gag, both in like ill, but also in like, oh my god, it's so cute. Like the audiobook is what you need to do. So the audiobook, dual POV. If it's in her POV one chapter, she doesn't do his talking, like the male narrator does his talking, and I just, why can't all dual POV do that, please? Like, we do not need man trying to do a high-pitched, nasally tone just to be a female. Like, come on. She's already in the studio, why can't she do it? Definitely one of my best books of the year. I'm very excited for Leather and Laugh, which is a sequel. So yes. I then read these 3 books back to back. It was just my whole life for like a week. These first 2 were rereads. My second reread for this one, first reread for this one. I just love getting back into Bryce's world. I'm still not the biggest fan of Hunt, like Rune. I love Rune so goddamn much. These 2 books I think are great setup for the finale. And it's not the finale of this series, it's just the finale of Bryce and Hunt's relationship, sort of like Akawar was for Reese and Feyre. This starts off where Sky and Breath finishes. It's pretty much non-stop. Like the first 2 books have a bit of like lull. This one is just non-stop and so good. There's so many, so many bombs was dropped in this. I feel like there was some plot lines that she started off in Sky and Breath that she kind of just like nixed in this one. Like the way some things were handled, I was like, why? That was no. Anyway, I did read this in one day. I started at 2 a.m. I woke up to go to the toilet, saw it had downloaded to my Kindle, and then didn't actually go to the toilet till like 4:30. And then I finished it at like midnight. Whew. Such a ride. And I'm very excited to see where it goes, because the ending of this, something happened. I don't want to spoil it, but something happened where it's like, I did not think about that. So how is like the whole world going to respond to that? I read the bonus chapters as well. I didn't care about Danica, but Rune and Lydia's bonus chapter, and then Ember and Randall's bonus chapter as well, which was, I loved it. So yeah, definitely so good. 5 stars. 5 stars. I feel like some of the people aren't liking it because they're expecting more ACOTAR stuff, but like, it's a Crescent City book, babes. Just, it's going to be about Crescent City. Okay. Anyway, so that was the 20 books that I read in the month of January. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you read any of the same books, or do we have any of the same thoughts or feels? If not, just argue with me in the comments, please. If you get to the end of this video, put a flame emoji for Flame and Shadow. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time.